Hello everyone. So welcome to Learn Data Structures and Algorithms in Python course. In this lecture, we'll be looking at how to install Python in your local system. We'll be looking for both macOS and Windows. Then we'll run our first Python code here. After that, we'll be looking what are the different IDs and text editors available for running Python code. So let's get started. To install Python, first you have to go to your browser and search for download Python. When you search this, so this website will come first. To download Python, just you have to click here. So there is a text called download latest version of Python for macOS. I'm currently using macOS. That's why it automatically detect and give the correct version for me. Okay, to download Python, you just have to click here. Okay, now the Python is being downloading, so it will take some time. Okay, now it is downloaded. First you have to click here. Now there is an option for downloading Python, installing Python. So you have to just continue here. Next, continue, continue. Now you have to agree this. After this, you have to just install. So I already have installed Python in my local system. That's why I'm not installing it again. So you just have to click here and Python will be installed in your system. Now, next, how to check Python is installed in your system or not. For that, you have to open terminal. Now just type Python. Okay, now just type Python 3 hyphen hyphen version. Now you can see this is current version of Python. This means Python is already installed in my computer. Now, how to write first program in Python. To write our first program in Python, you have to just search for IDLE. So when you search for IDLE, a Python shell will be open. So this is a Python shell, and this is used to run Python code. So it is like a interpreter. So just we'll be exploring this later. First, to run our Python code, you just have to write print and some message you want to print. So I'm just writing hello world. Let's see. Just now, just press enter, and now you can see this is typing hello world. So this means Python is installed in our computer successfully. Now you already have write your first Python code. So this print is actually a function that is printing something. Now we'll be looking how to install Python for Windows system. Now we are in Windows system. So similarly for Windows, to download Python, you have to just go to the browser and search for download Python. Then you'll see this official website for download Python. Now you can click here to download Python for Windows, and this is the latest version. Just click here and file will be downloaded. It will take some time to download. Now it is downloaded. So you just have to double click this, and this installer will be open. So I'm already have installed this Python in my system. That's why it is giving the option to modify the setup. Otherwise, if you just install for the first time, then it will be giving the option, same option as Mac has given. Just you have to continue, then after that you have to install this. So this is how we install Python in our system. Now how to check here in the Windows system that Python has already installed or not. For that, you have to search for cmd. This is a command prompt, and here in Mac we just search for Python 3, but here we'll just write Python then hyphen hyphen version. Now it is 3.11.0. This is old version. So it is clear that Python is installed in our Windows system itself. Now how to write code Python code here itself. For write Python code, you have to just go to the Python shell. You can't directly run Python code here. So for go to Python shell, there are two options. So you can just search for ideally. So this will be similar kind of interface that we have previously seen in the Mac, or you can directly type here py. Now I'm typing here py and just pressing enter. So here itself I can write the code. Just write print hello programmer. Now press enter. So it is printing this, right? Now just do some another operations. Num equals to 10, then print num modulo 3. Yes, it is running, right? The only problem here is that for single line code it is fine, but when we write if else conditions loops, when our program will be multi line, then there will be problem here. Just take an example. I'm just writing an if else statement. If num greater than 20, then print number is greater than 10, greater than 20, or else. Now when I start when I just click enter, so it is giving throwing me error. So it is very difficult to write here. That is the problem with that cell. That's why we just prefer ideally to write code. If I just write the same program here, just let's say num equals to 10, if num greater than 20, then print, okay, my mistake, if num greater than 20, then print number is greater than 20, else. So now you can see we can write code here itself. When we just press enter, it allows us to write multi-line code. Now print number is not greater than 20. Now if I just enter, so now it is showing that number is not greater than 20. So this is the correct answer, right? So the problem in the cell is that in the command prompt is that we can't write multi-line code here. But to avoid this, we have this ideally to run our Python code here. Now I think now you have understood why this ideally is very very important. Now assume you are going for an interview and the interviewer don't allow you to write Python code in any IDE or any text editor. He only allow you to write code in Notepad. But what is the reason behind that? Because in any IDE or any advanced text editor, they highlight the functions and special kind of variable, and they automatically align your code and highlight some mistakes. That's why interviewer doesn't allow you to write code in any code editor. Then he will say that just write the code in Notepad, and after that just run the file in your terminal. Now we'll see how to write a Python script in Notepad, then how to run this in our Windows terminal. For this, first you have to open Notepad. Okay, now Notepad is open. Now write some program. Print, let's assume hello world. Now the next step is you have to save the file. Before saving the file, let's create a folder here itself. Let's create new folder and name it Python day 1. Now save the file inside that folder. I choose this. Okay. Now name the file as intro, but the extension should be .py file. So currently, so the name will be intro.py. You can name as you want, but the extension should be .py. Now save it. Okay. Now we close the notepad. Now if we go to here, now you can see this. This is a py file. Now how to run this Python file? To run this Python file, you just have to right click here and click open in terminal. So there will be terminal open for this folder. You just have to clear this. Now you have to type Python, then the name of the file. The name of the file is intro.py. Then so you have to write Python, then space intro.py. Now you can see the result, right? So now you can do, right? But some of the programmers make mistakes here. He just enter into Python shell, then just try to run Python intro.py. Then that will throw an error. So you don't have to go to the Python shell. You have to remain in the window PowerShell and then you can run the code. So this is how you can write any script in Notepad, then you can run in your window PowerShell terminal. Now we'll be looking at some IDs used to run Python code. So the first IDE is Pycharm. So to download Pycharm, you just have to type Pycharm download. Then this website will be open. You just have to click here, download Pycharm for. So this is a popular IDE that is mainly for backend developer and data scientist. So there is two version. One is for professionals and there are another version that is free. PyCharm Community Edition. So you have to download this one. So to download this, you have to just click here and it will be start downloading. Okay, now it is downloaded. You just have to double click this. So now the installer will be open. So it is giving me a warning that I already have installed this in my computer. So it will be easy. You just have to continue, and then at last you have to install this. Okay, after successfully installing PyCharm, when you open the app, you will get this kind of interface here. So to create a Python file here, first you have to right click here, then click on this new, then create a directory. So this directory means this will be a folder. So we're just creating a directory. Uh, just name it Python for beginners. Okay, my directory has been created. Now right click here, then new, then click on this Python file and name it here. I'm just naming it intro dot. Okay, just intro. Then when I click this, it will automatically create it as .py file. So now you can see if I type p, so it already giving me this suggestion. So that is the benefit of IDE. So your development journey will be very fast. So your code will be very arranged and there will be less chance of getting error. It will automatically highlight you. So let's just print hello coders. Okay, assume we have write this. Now how to run this? how to give the output from here. To run this Python file, there is an icon here to run. So you just have to click here. When you click, so you can see the result in the below. Hello coders. So how hello coders. So that is how we can write code in Pycharm. Now look at another popular web-based platform called Jupyter Notebook. So just search for Jupyter Notebook. So now you can see that Jupyter Notebook is a web-based interactive computing platform. This is very helpful for learning data science, data analytics, and doing ML projects. For those kind of things, Jupyter Notebook is very helpful. For those kind of things, Jupyter Notebook is very helpful. Now we'll see how to install Jupyter Notebook in your system. To install Jupyter Notebook in your system, first you have to open your terminal, sorry, command prompt. Now just type pip install Jupyter and click enter. When you click enter, it will automatically download the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, now you can see it is downloading. Oh, let's minimize the screen a little bit. Okay, now you can see it is downloaded. Now to run Jupyter Notebook, what you have to do, it is very simple. So first clear this. You have to type you have to type Jupyter Notebook and enter. When you click enter, so this notebook will be open. To write a program here, first you have to click in this section new and then choose Python 3. Then when you click this, so this notebook will be open. Now you can write code here itself. So you can see this block, right? Now just type something. Print hello world. Now to run this, you just have to click shift plus enter. Now you can see the result. So that's how we can write code in the Jupyter Notebook. There is a navigator called Anaconda Navigator. When you just search for Anaconda download, so this navigator is actually very helpful for learning data science and data analytics, because this actually bundles all the packages in a one place, single place. So you don't have to go here and there. So when you click download here, so there will be option for download Anaconda free. So you just have to enter your email here, and when you submit this, so you'll get a download link in your email ID itself. So you can see here, so there is this packages: Jupyter Notebook, NumPy, SkyPy, R, Conda, Pandas library, TensorFlow. So all these packages are bundled together and placed in a single place. So this navigator is also very helpful for learning data science. These are the libraries and IDs every Python developer should have in their system. But in our entire course, we'll be using another popular text editor is called VS Code. Now to install VS Code, first you have to type VS Code download. Now you just have to click here, and there is three options for Windows, macOS, and Linux. So you can download VS Code from here. I already have installed in my system, that's why I'm not downloading it again. You just have to click here and simply install in your computer. Once you install, this will be our Visual Studio Code interface. Now, how to run a Python code here? Before running a Python code here, first in the left hand side, in this sidebar, you can see there is a option called extensions. First, you have to download a extension. Previously, we have seen that to execute a file that is created in Notepad, we need some kind of interpreter, right? So that is basically the Python shell. But here, the Visual Studio Code itself is a code editor. It is not an IDE. So IDE have their own interpreter, but Visual Studio Code doesn't have. That's why to run any code, we just have to install an interpreter here, so that every time we don't have to go to our terminal and run our .py file. So the extension is called Python. So now you can see this is from Microsoft. You just click here, and I already have installed this. I just uninstalling this. Now click on install, and it will be installing. It will take some time. Yes, now it is installed. Now what you have to do? First, I'm closing this. Now there is one thing remaining. If you are a Windows user, you have to click Control Shift plus P, or if you are a Mac user, you have to click Command Shift plus P. So when you click this, so this will be open, and here you have to just type select interpreter. So what is this? This is actually, we are telling VS Code that when we just click run button, then which interpreter should we run for this executing Python file. Now you have to select this one, the recommended one. Now it is done. And the final thing is, now you have to close your VS Code and open it again. Means you have to restart it again. So I'm just closing it and opening it. Visual Studio Code. Okay, now we are ready to go. Okay, now create a folder here, called Python in VS Code. Okay, we have created this folder and this is in our desktop. Now go to VS Code and click here, then click open folder. Then from here, we just have to select this folder here. Now click on this select folder, Python in VS Code. We'll be writing all our code here itself. Now you can see this folder is here. Now how to create a Python file? Similarly, so when you hover over this, there is an option for creating new file, and there are another thing called creating new folder. So if you want to create a new folder, then inside the new folder, if you want to create Python file, then you can do that. But currently we are just simply click on this new file. Now create a new Python file here, intro.py. Now it is created. Now let's write something. Write that same hello world, print. So here also it is giving me the suggestions. Now we have write this script. Now how to run this code? So there are two ways to run this. First, you there is an option, there is a icon here itself in the right hand side. If you click this, it will show our result. So our code will be executed and it will say this result. And there is another thing. So similarly, what we have done in our command prompt, that we can do similarly here itself. Another thing, how we just run our Python code in the Windows PowerShell. Similarly, we can do here itself in the terminal itself. To open the terminal, the shortcut is Control plus tilde sign. Tilde means left side of the one. So when you click this, so your terminal will be open. Now how to execute code here? How we have run our Python file in command prompt. Similarly, we can do here. So you just have to type Python then intro.py. Now if you hit enter, so it will show you the result. Now there is another way to open terminal. So you just hover over this element, then right click this, then there is an option called open in integrated terminal. You can click here and your terminal will be open. Then you can write similar thing here, python intro.py. Okay. Okay, now we have look at the different ways to execute Python code in our system, and then we have explored different IDs and text editor available for run Python code. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Thank you.